Since I reviewed SimpliSafe a year and a half ago, a bit has changed. There's a new camera, new monitoring features, new pricing, even a new logo. With all of that change since our last review, it's time to dust things off and take another look at this DIY security giant. SimpliSafe recently sent us a kit including some of the new exciting gear like the Smart Alarm indoor camera. So in this review, I'll take a closer look at what's changed and what you could expect from a SimpliSafe home security system. Before I jump into my review and testing, let me catch you up on some of these changes. Inflation comes for us all, including SimpliSafe. The brand hiked up their prices over the last year, but thankfully it's not a dramatic jump. What used to be the interactive plan is now the Fast Protect plan. Now, this is the tippy top of the monitoring food chain that gets you all that this DIY security brand has to offer. SimpliSafe still has its self-monitoring option for around $10 a month, which mainly revolves around video recording and storage. The security equipment has also seen a price hike. Packages now range from $250 to $700. Speaking of equipment, SimpliSafe debuted new gear in 2023. There's the Smart Alarm indoor camera. It's similar to its predecessor, but has a built-in battery that lets you move it to spots unreachable with a cable. It's also got a privacy shutter and...
Hello, this is Derek with SimpliSafe Security Monitoring on a recorded camera audio stream. Is everything okay?
This feature kicks in when things get serious, and it allows a real, live monitoring professional to drop in through your camera's live feed and check on you. It's not just helpful for home invasion either. Those real human peepers can confirm a problem like a medical emergency or a fire better than any AI can. More on that in a little bit. Along with this new camera, SimpliSafe has added a new combination smoke and carbon monoxide detector that can differentiate between smoke and burning food and can send your phone alerts through the app. Even the motion sensor got an update and now has a pet mode for bigger pets over 50 pounds. Now, this is more of a high-level, condensed look at what has changed. To get the latest updates, check our written review on Safewise.com that I've dropped below. For this updated review, I conducted the best test I could think of for a home security system. I went out of town. I mean, after all, isn't that what home security systems are for? Watching your home while you're away? For a full week, our house was empty, except for our house sitter who stopped by once a day to feed my cat. I instructed our human friend on how to arm and disarm the system when they came by. They didn't want to be featured on camera, but they did have some feedback about using the system.
The SimpliSafe system was super easy to use while pet sitting. I liked that it was just a 4-digit code. When I armed the system before leaving, at first I was nervous I wouldn't leave the house fast enough. I thought I'd set off the false alarm, but the keypad was right by the door, and its display system showed a countdown that gave me enough time not to feel rushed while I walked out.
Though I was hundreds of miles away, I was able to relax knowing that my house, my cat, and my friend were in good hands. Before we left, I dove into SimpliSafe's app to make adjustments to the system and the notifications it sent me. I adjusted the siren duration and exit delay time so our sitter had plenty of time to get into and out of the house. I tweaked the notification settings so I got text when the system sensed anything, including motion and status changes. Whenever our sitter stopped by, I got a text and a push notification that the alarm had been triggered and the system was disarmed. I was able to jump into the app and check on the camera feed in real time or watch a minute-long clip later. Thankfully, these clips are pretty much the same day to day. Our sitter comes in, our cat greets them, and the sitter goes off to feed the cat. They asked not to be shown on camera, so instead, here's a clip of us arriving home. To be honest, there wasn't much more to the test beyond that. The system worked as expected, and it was simple enough to introduce to someone who was completely new to it. I was able to keep tabs on the camera and the app, check the system status, and change it in case our friend forgot to arm or disarm it. So let's talk turkey. Here are my biggest takeaways after setting up, going out of town, and having this system in my home for nearly a month. Like any home security system out there, SimpliSafe has its strengths and weaknesses. So here's what I liked and what I didn't like about SimpliSafe. The equipment that makes up your system, how it alerts you, and the monitoring watching over your system, even the amount of time you take to enter and exit the home. It's all up to you. This makes SimpliSafe a great option for folks who are just dipping their toes into the wide world of home security. It's an affordable, low-commitment way to find out whether or not you like having a security system. There are no contracts required, and you can cancel or change your service whenever you'd like. You even get the option of having professional installers set up your system. In that time that our sitter armed and disarmed the system and walked inside, I was able to drop in and see everything live on camera, and all by the side of a pool. The camera has a two-way talk feature that let me talk to them directly through the app too.
Hey, this is what the two-way talk sounds like.
The equipment, the notifications, the app all worked in concert to deliver a pretty seamless experience while I had the system in my home. I didn't have to sit around and wait for the camera to buffer, nor did I get any false alarms or calls from the monitoring center that something terrible had happened. The smart alarm indoor camera strikes that delicate balance between privacy and security. But once the alarm triggers, it captures a 60-second clip. Along with that privacy shutter, its battery capacity is another improvement from SimpliSafe's early indoor cameras. While I left it charging during the majority of my tests, it can continue working even after it's unplugged. So if you want to move it to the other side of the room, or if an intruder unplugs it, this little guy will keep on recording. The clips I recorded were clear and easy to share with myself for this video too. But the LiveGuard compatibility is the biggest highlight of this camera. It kicks your camera into emergency mode and allows a live monitoring pro to drop in and talk through it. When I tested this feature, my alarm sounded for about 30 seconds before a SimpliSafe agent logged in.
Hello, this is Derek with SimpliSafe Security Monitoring on a recorded camera audio stream. Is everything okay?
But judging by the blinking light on the camera, I'm guessing he could see me long before he spoke up. He asked me for my name and our system's safe word, then disabled the alarm.
Is everything okay?
Yes, hi, I'm just testing the system. Overall, the whole process took around a minute, which feels pretty fast for an alarm to trigger, the camera to start recording, and the agent to act. As far as I'm aware, this is a unique feature to SimpliSafe, and I hope it'll help a lot of people. Bye, Derek.
Bye-bye.
While I had a good experience with SimpliSafe, there are still some blind spots that miss the mark for others. There's no option for guest access in the SimpliSafe app. While this may not be an everyday problem, it would have been really nice to have in my situation. Here I have a regular guest stopping by while I'm gone. Instead of giving them the PIN code or making one for them, I could have just given them access to use our app temporarily while they were watching our place. If you're using SimpliSafe to guard your business, or you have a home with a lot of people who come by, this one might be a drawback. While you can program multiple PIN codes into the keypad, you're limited to only 4. This is less about access and more about tracking who comes in and out of your space. With those unique codes, you're able to know who's stopping by and who's leaving. I live in the middle of a small city, so this one was less of a problem for me. But if you live in a rural area or an area with spotty cell or internet service, SimpliSafe isn't always reliable. While the system has cellular backup for when your Wi-Fi drops, it costs extra, and that isn't much help if your cell signal is weak. If you're looking for a security system that folds seamlessly into your smart home, SimpliSafe isn't the strongest choice out there either. It does work with Google Home and Alexa. Once you connect it to either of those smart speakers, you can arm and disarm the system. But for folks on the HomeKit train, you're still left behind. And automations feel pretty weak with the existing systems it does work with too. This has been a weak point for SimpliSafe for a long time, but it is slowly changing. The brand now works with August locks, for example, but it still trails behind other DIY security systems like Abode in third-party compatibility. As we all know, the only constant is change, but SimpliSafe's always been affordable, customizable, and low commitment. It's a solid choice for security newcomers when I made this first review, and it still is today. If you want to learn more about SimpliSafe, check out reviews, how-tos, and other resources in the description below. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.